Good afternoon, everyone. My name is David Shoup from Shoup Legal. I am this firm's business and corporate attorney, and I am proud to announce the start of Shoup Legal's Entrepreneur Legal Minute. What the Entrepreneur Legal Minute is going to be the nuts and bolts of business law for business owners. This is the stuff that every business owner needs to know, whether you're the new startup, the longtime business owner, entrepreneur, independent contractor, or someone who's looking to get into business. This is perfect for you. Okay? How many of you listening right now have wondered, is my business structured properly? Is it formed correctly? Is my corporation put together properly? How about business contracts? What business contracts do I need? Are the business contracts that I currently have even enforceable? And how about succession planning? How do we go about that? How do I bring in my kids, sell equity to my employees, maybe found an outside party to buy it? All right. And most importantly, liability protection. Am I protected with my current business from personal liability? I want to make sure my stuff is safe from the judgments and liabilities of my business. All of these topics and so much more I'm going to be covering in the Entrepreneur Legal Minute starting today, every week, 4 o'clock. I'm posting on Facebook, my Entrepreneur Legal Minute. I hope you will all listen in every week. Super crucial for business owners. The first one we're going to be talking about is about the most common and most commonly used business form in existence in the United States, if not the world, and it's a sole proprietorship. Okay, if you haven't used it yourself, you've definitely dealt with it in some way. The sole proprietorship really is just an individual doing business. They just open up the doors and they just start running. Okay, it's a lot of times used by startups. Okay, because there's not the costs associated with forming a corporation, for example. It's a lot simpler. It's easier to run. You can stop doing business whenever you want. Okay, there's no filing fees. There's nothing to file with the Secretary of State, anything like that, other than perhaps a fictitious business name statement or a DBA if you want to do that. But it's simple. Tax-wise, it's simple. Everything's just on your personal tax return, and that's pretty much it. But what are the downsides of taking on this really simple and easy business form? Well, number one, there is no actual business entity. Okay, a corporation, it's its own thing, recognized by the state and the country as a business form. Okay, sole proprietorship is not the case. The sole proprietor is the business. If that person passes away, becomes disabled, anything of that nature, there is no more business. Okay, it just ceases to exist. You can't sell stock to anyone. You can't bring in new owners. You can't have a partnership. You can't do none of that stuff. And most importantly, there is no liability protection. The other business forms have what's known as the shield of liability, limitation of liability. If that business gets sued, there's a chance that the business itself will absorb the liability and it will not pass on to the shareholder, the member, the partner, whoever it is. Okay, so if you're a sole proprietor, you got to have strong business insurance. That's really the only way to protect yourself from liability. Okay, also, the sole proprietorship cannot have varying levels of ownership or management. It's only the sole proprietor. That's it. The buck stops with that person. Okay, you can't really transfer this business to anybody. Okay, you can't sell it to anyone other than perhaps the assets itself or things of that nature, maybe the intellectual property or something like that. Right? But you can't sell stock. You can't transition it to anyone. You can't have varying levels of ownership and management separation. Okay, it just doesn't exist. The sole proprietor is the sole proprietor. So when is the sole proprietor appropriate or can be used? It's commonly for startups. Commonly for startups who are just getting started, don't have enough revenue or profit yet to justify maybe a corporation, something along those lines. A business that doesn't have a liability, isn't very complex. It's got to be simple. Okay, if you need a complex business form, you got to go with something else. You got to go with AOC, partnership, corporation, something like that. Okay, so the simple startup with relatively low liability, very limited people perhaps working with the business, that's the sole proprietorship's best case. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed my video. Hope you got a whole bunch out of it. I'm really looking forward every week, 4 o'clock. If you enjoyed the video, please like it, share it, and I will see you all next week for the Entrepreneur Legal Minute. Take care.